Hello and welcome to Boomer and Beyond Wellness. I'm Angela Fischetti. So today's workout is pretty simple. We're going to do legs and arms with supersets. And supersets is when we work two different exercises back to back without any rest. Now the accessories we'll be using today will be a sticky yoga mat. I'll also be using my adjustable workout bench, but it's not a must. You can always use a sturdy chair, provided it does not have wheels nor arm rests. I'll also be using a variety of weights between 7.5 pounds to 26-pound weights. Now, how I make it so it's not holding only a 25-pounder is I'm going to be working with a couple of different pair of adjustable wrist weights. And actually one is a 1-pounder that is preset, and 2.5 pounds are preset in the other pair. And I'll also be working with a fit ball. Now, if you don't have a fit ball, which is this squeegee little guy over here, you can also use a 9-inch Pilates ball. I don't care if you have a small beach ball. And if you don't want to hold on to anything, that's fine. But this will not add additional weight or resistance. What it will enhance is your form, and it's going to help you stay really focused on what you're doing in the present moment. And then finally, I'll be using an exercise wedge. Now, an exercise wedge looks like this and from the side. Now, I'll be using this for elevated deadlifts, which means my heels are going to be on this end, and the toes and balls of the feet are going to be up here. Now, what if you don't have an exercise wedge easily accessible? And I just want to say something. For those of you with tight hamstrings and tight low back, and typically they kind of go hand in hand, I'm going to highly recommend you avail yourselves to proper exercise wedges. They are in my Amazon shop, by the way. My Amazon shop is completely curated, so it's all items that I use with the exception of one item, I believe. And now, here is a way to hack that exercise wedge if you don't have one accessible. So you're going to take 2 dumbbells, and I'm going to place them on the floor. I want to make sure you can see them. When you go to do the elevated deadlift, what you do is take the balls of your feet up onto the bars of the weights, and you can work it like this. So your heels will be lower than the balls of the feet, which is the point. Let me just set these to the side. Moving on here. Now, this moves me into the medical disclaimers and precautionary measures with one blanket statement to begin with. If you have any chronic health condition at all, and this channel is all about the chronic health concerns, I do call it the Chronic Concerns Corner, right? So if you have any issues, please preview the video. Don't participate right away. And look for what you can do. Broaden your perspective. Widen that horizon a bit, folks, because those of us with chronic health concerns oftentimes self-limit, right? So start to expand the horizon. Look for what you can do. However, if you're not sure, then I would invite the medical health care practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well to help you make an informed decision. Now, specific to this video, if you have a latex allergy, please be careful, because the mat and the fit ball are definitely made out of, and even the Pilates 9-inch ball are made out of latex. So you folks want to look for non-latex or latex-free. Now, if you have any back spine issues, but in particular flexing the spine, so you may have been told not to bend down to pick up something, and especially something of weight. Now, this can apply to those of you with osteoporosis of the spine, but not exclusive to it, right? And even the postural deviation known as hyperkyphosis, where you're kind of hunched in appearance. Also, those of you with knee flexion issues where you have a really tough time bending the knees. I'm going to take you to the wall. I might get a little bit dark back here, but I want to make sure I give you folks an option for your squats. So you're going to do a wall sit, also known as a wall seat, We're going to come up against the wall, so make sure your back is fully supported. Now, for those of you with the postural deviation hyperkyphosis, your head is going to probably project forward. We call that tech neck today. So with you folks, please grab a thick towel, roll it up, place it behind your head, and you press your head back into the wall so that you're actually strengthening those neck muscles that are overly stretched. The other thing here is I'm actually holding statically, which is an option. You can slide up and down, but do make sure that you kind of mirror an athletic ready stance at the wall. So what I'm doing is placing the hands to the inside of the hip bones, known as the iliac crest, lining them up to the knees, down to the ankles, and the toes are in the same line as each other. So right there you have several issues you can take care of just by doing your work at the wall. Moving on. If you are medicated or not for hypertension, have vertigo or GERD, I do need you to avoid dropping the head down. So therefore, flexing the cervical spine of the neck is not the best thing for you, all right? So you want to keep your chin, head neutral. And also, if you have golfer's elbow or tennis elbow, so that would be medial epicondylitis or lateral epicondylitis. Folks, I wish I could give you some suggestions, but I can't because the symptoms for these conditions are quite unique with each individual. So for you folks, please seek further medical advice and find out, is bicep and tricep work appropriate for you? If you have vestibular challenges, this is challenges with your balance. Well, number one, folks, you folks need to make sure that you are not working out solo. Always have a companion with you. Now, I'm going to be doing an exercise called a lateral lunge. So it's going to look like this, where I step out into hip abduction, abduction, and I'm dropping the weight back into this glute. And on the exhale, I step up and in on hip adduction to close. So this exercise could be contraindicated for you with balance issues. I would suggest maybe the wall squat and just taking a basic squat, not doing this one. But if you feel confident, you go ahead and do it. Moving on with a few other issues. If you've had a TIA, a transient ischemic attack or a stroke, you folks avoid dropping the head back. Now, when I do my cool down, I'm going to be possibly doing this. I love to do this. It's a back extension. It's a back bend. And when I do it, I really go for it with the cervical spine. It's called hyperextension. It is not contraindicated. It's a normal movement of the cervical spine, but not for TIA or stroke. So you folks as well, keep that chin head neutral. Now, if you have rotator cuff muscle issues deep to the shoulders, pinched nerve at the neck, and I'm going to re-invite those of you medicated or not for hypertension into this category, I'm going to be doing an exercise called a tricep overhead press or overhead extension. So you folks may have been advised not to bring your arms up and overhead, especially with weight. So when I go to do that tricep overhead press, here's your job. You're going to do a straight arm pushback. It's also known as a straight arm press back. You're going to get plenty of tricep work this way. You can either let the palms face each other or face the wall behind you. But notice, I don't bring my arms here when I do that straight arm push back. I'm back here for start and stop. So that's your option. Also, for those of you with carpal tunnel syndrome, now, that tricep overhead press, and I'm checking my notes here, but in particular, the tricep overhead press has a bit of a wrist extension. Now, when I fully do a wrist extension, it looks like this. Doesn't matter where those arms and forearms are, folks. It's all wrist extension. Carpal tunnel syndrome, please keep your wrists straight. Now, a couple of gentle reminders. Always feel free to stop and rest whenever you need to, but this is not an invitation for you to quit. You stop, take a couple of breaths, return to the work, even if it's just for one more repetition, because this is how you will get stronger. Also, please keep yourselves properly hydrated with water. I don't know about coffees, teas, bubbly water flavored stuff. I don't know from anything. I only know what Harvard Health publishes studies about working out with water. Now, I do have to say, if you have been medically advised to not drink a lot of water, maybe for bladder issues, kidney issues, you follow that advice, please. Now, on the channel, I want you to look for a warm-up and cool-down video, one video where you can interchange your movements. It is important for those of us 55 years and above to warm up for a full 10 minutes prior to any workout. Also, on the channel, you want to go to the post tab. Now, that was formerly known as the community tab, and in that tab you will find a link to a rating of perceived exertion chart, RPE for short, and this is a subjective 0 through 10 scale that is an excellent tool to help you gauge your sense of effort. It could be really helpful for those of you who have a pacemaker, maybe you're taking certain medications like beta blockers, or maybe you just don't know how to take your training heart rate. It is advised for the demographic of my channel to work out at an RPE between 3 and 6. And also, within that post tab, you want to look for some reference screenshots from the video. Now, what are we going to do here today for this legs and arms superset program for you? Well, what we're going to do is 8 exercises vertically. One set, and a set is a group of 8 to 15 repetitions without any external resistance. But that's when we're going to tie in the fit ball or your Pilates ball, whatever you choose to hold on to. Make sure it has no weight, but this, again, will absolutely help you with your form. After the vertical approach, then we move into the supersets, I should say, where we break down 4 blocks of 2 exercises each, and that's when we add all of the weights. So let's begin here in the athletic ready stance. We went over it at the wall. Quick review here. Hands to the inside of the hip bones, the iliac crest, line up to the knees, down to the ankles, and I'm going to turn to the side here. What I need you to avoid, folks, is this. Taking an anterior pelvic tilt. It's when you're tipping your pelvis forward. We don't want that. We want to come into a subtle posterior pelvic tilt, also known as a pelvic tuck. So now we are going to move here into the first block. So I'm going to grab my fit ball. The first exercise is an RDL, a Romanian deadlift. We're going to couple this with bicep curls. Now I'm going to show you a basic deadlift first, then I'll show you the Romanian deadlift. So I'm going to hold the ball down in front of me because this is where my weights would be. Standing with the feet hips width apart, toes lifted inside the shoes. Now, instead of doing a squat, a deadlift is a hip hinge. And watch here now. So it's a hip hinge. When I come up, there's a posterior pelvic tuck squeeze at the top. I'm going to show you one more like this. Then we go into the Romanian style with the feet just a bit wider than the hips. Hip hinge, inhaling, lowering, exhaling to come up. The breath is in and out through the nose. You want to pause at the peak of the contraction right here. And by lifting the toes inside the shoes, we're sending love to our shin muscles, helping our knees and our balance, as well as driving up from the heels, engaging the entire posterior extensor chain of the body. This would be the back erectors, the gluteals, and the hamstrings. One more. Inhale, exhale, up. Now I am going to set the ball down because the next one is bicep curls, and it will look like this. Plug the arms into the shoulder sockets, and we're going to curl up and down. Now watch here, I'm going to supinate, which means turning the palms face up, because that's how you recruit more of the bicep. It's stronger in supination. Exhale, pause at the peak. And now every single exercise I choose for the workouts for this channel are definitely exercises that will help in some way with ADLs, activities of daily living. I want you to carry those heavy groceries from your trunk into your home without issue. One more. Exhale, curl, and gently release it down. For the second block, we have box squats, so let me grab the ball, along with, yes, that tricep overhead press. So I left a little space here at the end of my bench for the box squat, and if you have a box, great. You want to stand with your feet just a bit wider than the hips, toes lifted, ball in front of your chest, and I'm going to lower down slowly to a count of 4. 1, 2, 3. At 4, I touch, and then I pop up into the pelvic tuck squeeze. So it's a dynamic raising up, explosive. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale up, pelvic tuck squeeze. Inhale, lower. 1, 2, 3. Only touch and come right back up. So notice I don't sit back all the way. And lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale up. Inhale, lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lift. Again, lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, rise up. Let's go for one more. Inhale, lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it up and hold. Now, with the tricep overhead press, take the ball overhead. I'm going to come on a bit of a diagonal for you. And we lower behind the head. Exhale up. So what we want to do, folks, is make sure those elbows, the olecranon processes, are pointing straight up at the ceiling. Also working the pectoral muscles of the chest, the shoulder muscles, the deltoids. Exhale up. Pause. One more. Take it up and pause. Slowly lower it down. For our third block, we have those elevated deadlifts. So you're going to bring your weights, and if you have a wedge, fantastic, all right? And we're going to do this with Arnold Curls. Yeah, they're named after the guy himself. So we're going to come up onto the wedge. My toes are up anyhow, right? And lowering the ball down. Hip hinge. Exhale up, pelvic tuck squeeze. What we don't want to do here, even if you have a magnificent range of motion, I highly recommend you do not drop your chest lower than your hips. Making sure you're keeping that head up. Again, if you're medicated or not, for hypertension, have vertigo, or GERD. It's a good tip for everyone, folks. Make sure your devices are not on the floor and bringing your neck into flexion. And then you wind up blaming me and the exercise and not the position of the head during the workout. Don't do that to yourself. And one more. Inhale, exhale, up. And we do this with the Arnold Curls. So I'm just going to set this down for the moment. Hopefully she won't fall off. Now, the difference between a basic bicep curl and an Arnold curl, well, same thing. I'm going to plug the arms into these shoulder sockets, but I'm going to keep the arms out wider. And those elbows are now a fulcrum. And when you have weight in your arms, folks, whoa, you're going to feel this in those forearms and wrists as well, which is why this is a favorite exercise around here at Boomerang Beyond Wellness, because those are areas that are vulnerable to osteoporosis. So by doing an Arnold curl, you can definitely help yourselves. We're going to go for one more. Notice the elbows aren't flapping in and out. And easy to lower it down. Let me move this out of the way. For the next block, we have the lateral lunges with a bent over tricep kickback. So you already know, and you've been told here. Actually, I want to bring something else to your attention. Those of you with osteoporosis of the hip and those of you with hip replacement, do a basic squat. So I don't know if I mentioned that before, but that is important because I'm stepping out wide and you may have been advised not to do that. Now remember, you may have been advised you can do all of these exercises. You follow that advice, right? But it is my job to give you the precautions. Inhale out, exhale in. I'm going to go for one more. And then over to the other side. Up and in to close. Hip abduction, hip adduction. Keep that head up. Inhale, exhale. One more, and close. Now we're doing this with the bent over tricep kickback, so I'm going to put this down. Remember, straight arm pushback for some of you, right? So we're going to bend over, belly button in, elbows up, exhale, extend, inhale, bend. Hands come alongside the waist, which means you don't go here. You don't do this stuff, right? Hold those arms steady. Pause at the peak, right there. Not my favorite exercise, folks. I'm going to be honest with you, but I do it. Two more. Exhale, pause. Uno más. Pause and control it down. So before we begin the program with the weights, take a couple of shoulder rolls, big shoulder rolls, not elbow pumps, lifting up toward the earlobes. That is great. Now, here's where I start to tie in. I'm going to get this puppy out of the way. I'm going to tie in my wrist weights for my Romanian deadlifts for 26 pounds, and we'll be using the 2.5 pound wrist weights for the bicep curl. So here we go. Okay, folks. Feet a bit wider than the hips, arms plugged into the shoulder sockets, and take it up. Hip hinge, pelvic tuck squeeze at the top. I get real quiet when I'm working. One more. Great. I'm going to set the weight down. Now, off goes my 1 pound wrist weights. On come the 2.5 pounders. I do love the adjustable wrist weights because I look for the ones that have 1/4 pound increments, which is very helpful for those of you trying to level up with chronic health concerns. 15 pounders, so 17.5 pounds on the basic bicep curl. I'm not quite back to my full weight on this exercise yet, but we're getting real close. About a year ago, I had an injury. I sustained a nasty injury to my real left shoulder where a military press machine, a shoulder press machine, broke on me in the gym. One more. Exhale, curl, and control it down. And if you know about the bicep curl, that the shoulders, the deltoids, are definitely stabilizers. Shifting over to my 1-pounders. I think I just touched the microphone. You must forgive me. And let's go back to the ADLs. I'm going to turn to the side here for you this time. Feet a bit wider than the hips. And toes lifted. Here we go. Hip hinge, keep the head up. Pelvic tuck squeeze. You come all the way upright, all the way vertical. Step out a little bit because I'm a little bit grazing the bench. Two more. Belly button in. Protect the back. And hold here. Setting the weights down. Removing the wrist weights. Moving on to the 2.5-pound wrist weights. The other reason why I really like adjustable wrist weights is because they get really kind of skanky otherwise because you can't wash them. So these you can remove your weights and take care of yourself hygienically. Here we go. And let's give you a little bit of an angle here for your bicep curl. Take that supination. It's kind of warm down here. I am in South Florida, so you might hear some of the air conditioner in the background. Sorry about that, folks. If I don't put the air conditioner on, it goes up to about 85 degrees in here. Not good for the cat either. One more. Exhale, curl, and slowly down. Now, oh, you know what? We're going to keep this all except for the wrist weights. I'm going to return now to 1-pounders. We're going to do the box squats along with the tricep overhead press, where I will keep these 1-pounder wrist weights on for that second exercise as well. So now, I'm going to place these up on my shoulders. Pardon me when I turn my back to you, but I know you can hear me with the microphone. And hold the bottom collar of the weight. I'm going to straddle the bench. Okay, toes lifted and lower. 1, 2, 3, all the way down. 4, pop it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, take it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, pop it up. We want the explosive movements, folks, because it helps our reflex reaction time for a healthy aging process. 3 more, lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it up. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale up. Careful to lower the weights down. Now, I'm going to grab an 18-pound weight plus my 2 on the wrists. We have 20 pounds for the tricep overhead press, overhead extension. Want to clear the skull. So every time you push something away from you, you're pushing a heavy grocery cart, you're engaging your triceps. Let's go for one more. Carefully to lower it in front of you. Back to our box squat. This has fast become one of my favorite squats, and I like it for you because you can adjust the height of the chair you prefer to work with, right? So if you have some issues, you can stay up higher. Here we go. Lower 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale up. Pelvic tuck squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, rise up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lift. Lower 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, up. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, up. Carefully to lower the weights down. And let's grab the 18-pounder and take it into the tricep overhead press. It's also known as the overhead extension. Clear that head. Elbows pointing straight up. Don't let them wander forward and back, the elbows. 2 more. And take it up. Carefully lower in front of you. For the next block, what do we have? Okay, I have the elevated deadlifts. So I'm going to remove these and grab my wedge, all right? I'll be doing that with 25-pounders along with the Arnold Curls, and I will be using 10-pounders for that. Here we go. And remember, you can use your weights. And hip hinge, inhale, exhale up. So I will give you a different angle on the second set. One more. Yep, I'm working. That's why you hear that breathing going on. And we're doing this with Arnold Curls. So I have the 10s down here. Okay. So remember, we're going to go a little bit wider. Pelvic tuck, athletic ready, curl. It's incredible the amount of work that this is. There's a lot of core. When you have something of weight out in front of you, it is just it could be out in front of you, out behind you. This is a lot of core involved. Careful here, a golfer's tennis elbow. Get your information first. 2 more. Uno más. Whew, I want you to be able to pick up your children and your precious grandchildren as well. Back to the elevated deadlift. I'm going to turn the wedge this way for you now. And you have a different view. My glasses are starting to slide off. Air conditioner and all, I'm sweating. Here we go. I want to make sure I don't hit the bench. Okay. Hip hinge, right? I want you to be able to bend down, pick up something, and get up without issue. Uno más. goes right into the butt, folks, and working those gluteals, super important for healthy aging because a lot of times females will fall due to weak gluteals. Can't have that, folks, can't have that. It's one thing to fall if there's something obstructing your way. It's another thing to fall because you can't hold yourself up muscularly. Whoa, wow. Yes, I did rehearse before. I'm going to go for another one. Yeah, I'm going to smile when I think that. Okay. 4, I think we're on our final block, right. So we're going to do lateral lunges. I'm going to use a 25-pounder with the bent over tricep kickback. Here we go. Be careful here, vestibular challenges, right? And osteoporosis of the hip and hip replacement. It's another ball game, folks, with a weight. Last one. Take it over to the other side. Oh, I don't love this one either, but gotta do it. Two more. Out to the side, not out in front of you and not behind you with the step outs. And my 8-pounders are on the bottom. Let's pull them up. Okay. Here we go. Tricep kickback, bent over. You can do it upright too for those of you who don't want to do the straight arm pushback. Oh, gosh. Two more. Pause at the peak. Ooh la la. Whew. Back to our lateral lunge. Yeah, I got to check my notes now and then for sure. Okay. One more. Hold, make sure you're not dizzy. Pick up my glasses, okay. Remember, all the way vertical, come up. Two more. Easy does it, putting it down. Last set, folks, before a bit of a cool down. Two more. Wow. Okay. Let's take some nice big shoulder rolls, up, back, and down. Now's when I'm going to ask you to go to the channel and look for the warm-up cool-down video. And I want you to take another full 5 minutes of a proper cool-down. We'll do a few stretches here. And I'm going to push the walls away. Be careful here, carpal tunnel. I'm in wrist extension. You straighten the wrists and reach out through the middle fingers. And then inhale, thumbs down. Exhale, interlock all 10 fingers. Clasp the thumbs. Draw the palms together. Shoulder blades fully retracted. If you are like this and thinking you're doing it, you're not. Take your yoga strap, bring it behind you, and hold here, and you'll be able to open all of this. Let's do some lateral flexion here, folks. I'm going to slide the right hand down the outer right leg. Make sure my sternum, breastbone stays up toward the ceiling. I don't want to collapse the side organs by going down this way. Left hand to the waist for those of you with pinched nerve, medicated or not for hypertension, and have rotator cuff. Otherwise, arm up and over. So I reach down to reach up and over through both sets of middle fingers. Or I should say just both middle fingers. Inhale, turn the palm up, grab an imaginary hook. Exhale, push down into the left heel, return to center. Immediately take it over to the other side, hand to the waist or not, depending upon your situation. Hips forward, torso back, reach up to reach down. Stretch the intercostals between the ribs, the obliques at the waist. Inhale, turn the palm up, push down into the right heel. Exhale, back to center. Let's do that back spine extension, that back bend, standing with the feet wider than the hips, hands on that sacrum. Remember, carpal tunnel is going to bring the hands below the butt. And I'm going to bend my knees for the first part of this. And the hips and thighs come forward, the belly forward. Don't worry if your belly protrudes, nobody cares, right? And I'm going to think I'm sliding one side of the sacrum at a time down toward my heels, though technically it does not slide. Now, TIA stroke, head remains here. Rest of us, if you're okay with it, drop the head back. Careful also with an arthritic neck here. You might want to keep that head neutral. And you can straighten the knees if you prefer. Inhale, bring the head up. Exhale, back to center for a couple of more shoulder rolls. And that's what we've got for you today, folks, here at Boomer and Beyond Wellness. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Share the videos. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to tap that notification bell. And also, if you would like to receive my free monthly newsletter, do go to my website, which is boomerandbeyondwellness.com, and go to the subscribe tab. And when you do subscribe, you will receive a thank you workout video I designed exclusively for newsletter subscribers. If you are in the Fort Lauderdale area, I am a licensed massage therapist, so go to my website and go to the contact form, and you can always reach out to me there for a massage. And also, if you or your loved ones might be dealing with some delicate conditions, I am going to be working in quite a number of facilities in the Fort Lauderdale area specific to Lauderdale Lakes. At the Alzheimer's Day Center, I'm beginning 6 classes a month over there for chair yoga for seniors, and also at St. Joseph's Residence in Lauderdale Lakes. I will be teaching there chair yoga for seniors, along with kind of like a fusion class of strength training as well in a chair. And for those of you with the more delicate side of the issues, there is also going to be St. John's Residence for chair yoga for seniors. And there's more to come on on-site work, folks, and I will keep you posted. So until next time, eat your greens, eat your beans, drink your water, and be well. Thanks so much.